Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I hope that you are happy to be here. I am certainly happy to be here, and I have a beautiful card to bring to you today. This is it right here. Isn't it beautiful? It reminds me of Breakfast at Tiffany's. That little Tiffany box and the colors, the black, the white. It's so elegant and beautiful. And I am using a stamp set today out of the Celebration brochure called Delicate Dahlias. And it is quite a beautiful stamp set. I think you're really going to love it. So let's go ahead and get started and we can make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let me move some stuff out of the way here. We don't need this box, but you can see this beautiful stamp set. It is available for free. That's right, for free with a $100 purchase. During Celebration, we have two different qualifying levels. We have a $50 qualifying level and $100, and this stamp set is in the $100 qualifying level. Once you purchase $100 worth of any products you want, Stampin' Up! Will let you have this stamp set for free if you choose this one. And this one's beautiful. I don't think that the samples do it justice in the mini, in this little mini brochure here. So I am bringing to you a few ideas. I blog at inkyhandswarmhearts.com, and I blog there every day. And if you will go there, you will see a variety of ideas using this stamp set, because I blog every single day and I am blogging this stamp set for an entire week. So this is my third day of blogging this stamp set. And so this is live on my blog, Inky Hands Warm Hearts. And you'll be able to see this demonstrated on there as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to be using some of the Whisper White Craft ink, and when you purchase that, it comes uninked, but it comes with the refill to ink it up, and it doesn't take the whole bottle, so you have plenty left over. We're going to be using that to do all the beautiful white splatters that are on this card. Isn't it so pretty? I think you will like it. We're also using Coastal Cabana, which is one of my most favorite colors. So those are the two that we're going to be using today. So this is a half sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. The other piece would be right here, and you cut down the short side all the way down the 11-inch length here and cut it down to 11 by 4 1/4. And if you fold this piece in half, it will form the base for your card. So let's go ahead and do that. I use a bone folder to help me out. And there we go. That's how you get your card, and it's going to open here from the side. So as you can see, I have a black piece that goes right here, and then I have this polka dotted black, which is this piece. This comes from the Pattern Party. It's a Hostess paper pack. Lot of paper in this pack. It's gorgeous. I use it all the time. One side is colored, one side is black and white. This is what the colored side looks like, and we're going to be using that today. So let me go ahead and show you how we're going to go ahead and put this together. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal adhesive, which is this. It's a tape runner, and I am going to run a line of it down this one side like so. And then I'm going to attach it onto this piece. I only want a small amount of this to show, so I'm going to go ahead and position that on here so that I can get that amount showing. That looks about right, maybe a little bit over. I'm going to push it down a little. Yeah, like that. So this is that piece. It's going to get attached right on here. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and stamp these leaves. As you can see, I stamped a background with leaves right here. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use our Coastal Cabana ink pad. I'm going to grab a scrap paper here. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to just ink this leaf up, and we're going to position it in different directions. We don't want it to look like it's the same in every spot. Let's go ahead and put it like that. That looks pretty good to me. We don't need it to come the whole length because, see, this is going to cover that up. So that looks pretty good to me. What do you guys think? I think so. And this little blurry section I got, because I kind of wiggled my stamp, it's going to be fine. It's going to be kind of covered up by this tag. So everything will be good. Let's go ahead and finish our stamping. So let's go ahead and grab our dahlia. I'm going to clean this in a second. I'll just clean everything at the same time. I'm going to ink that up in the same ink color. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that down onto our card. Isn't it stunning? This is such a beautiful stamp set. I love how it looks. So there's that. We're going to let that sit to the side and dry, just like that. So far we have those. On the inside of this card, we're going to put 3 small dahlia flowers, and this black piece is gonna sit like this on the inside. So I want to make sure that I hold it where I want it and then get an idea of where I want to stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp 3 of these flowers. That looks pretty good to me. So now that needs to be cleaned. Now, one more piece before we start assembling our card. We are going to be doing the Oh So Happy for You, and you can see over here that it is cut into pieces. So let me show you how I did it. I inked this up, and I just wanted the Oh So first. Then we're going to try and get the happy, so we're going to put that in the middle. A little crooked, but that's okay. We can fix it. And then we're going to do the For You on this side. Oops, I'm a little off, which is why I have more paper so I can do it again. All right, so let's go ahead and clean our stamps. That's all of the stamping that we're going to do in this particular color. So let me move that out of the way and get my stamp chamois out, and we'll go ahead and clean everything. So there are our stamps. A little squeaky, but it does the job. All right, let's get these guys out of the way as well. We don't need those anymore, so I'm going to put them in a basket that I keep right next to me when I'm stamping to make my life so much easier. That way I don't lose anything, right? All right, so let's talk about this piece. We're going to use our scissor, and this one didn't work out so well, but this one looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and cut it close on the edges, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the word For You, just keeping my scissor as straight as I can. There's that. We're going to need the happy on this side, and since I went a little crooked, I'm going to have to trim it a little crooked, so don't mind my crooked trimming, but it's going to end up straight in the long run. So we're going to follow that line of the words as our guide and not what I stamped crooked, and leave that same amount on the bottom. So there's the happy, and now comes the Oh So, and we're gonna do across the top here like that. I'm also gonna trim this side slightly. Good. So those are those 3 pieces. Let's go ahead and get rid of these scraps. I'm also going to run a length of this adhesive right down here. And we're going to go ahead and attach it to the inside of our card. I'm leaving a little bit of a border here. And I always cut this piece a little longer because I don't want it to be short. So I'm going to flip my card over, and I'm going to go ahead and trim that excess away. We can discard that. So there's the inside of our card. Really pretty, isn't it? All right. And now let's go ahead and attach this piece right here. So we're going to use the same adhesive. Our seal, which I love because it is super sticky, and that's what we want, right? Our card to stick down. I have reached the end. Of course, this always happens to me when I'm live because, you know, I have to teach you how to change it. Let me go in my drawer and grab a refill. So when you get the refills, they're like this. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that part and open the Ziploc. And we're gonna pull this piece out just like that. I'm gonna put this piece in here. And the used up one in here. And this can go in the trash. While I have it open, I'm gonna kind of rub off any extra residue of any adhesive that may be on it. It's a lot easier to do when you have it separated. And sometimes you get a little happy with the adhesive and you get it onto your pieces here. So by just rubbing, see there's some, by rubbing your finger over the top, it pulls it out and then you can just roll it in a little ball and remove that adhesive. It's kind of like a mini glue dot once you get it off and onto your skin here. And you can remove that. I think I got most of this as well. Let me make sure there's none on the inside of this one. Oh, there is. Ooh, that was a big one. Yep, we want to get those off to start our next roll. Okay, now we're going to take the part that has these pins that are sticking out. They go into these holes right here. So you just basically line up that hole with that hole and that hole with that one, and it slips inside, and then you just put the cover on the top. That's it. It's as easy as that. Let me just roll and get that started. So let's go ahead and attach this piece onto here. Sorry about that, but hey, at least you learned how to change your adhesive. All right, let's open. So you have a little overhang here. We're gonna trim that excess. I always like to leave a little extra because I don't want to ever be shy, right? So let's remove those pieces. Okay. The Oh So Happy For You is going to go on a tag. And the tag came from the tailor-made tags. If you don't own them, I am not exactly sure why, because they're amazing. Let me see if I have them handy here to show you. Where are you, tags? Maybe I put them away and not met. I didn't mean to, but it's possible. I'm not sure where I have placed them. Let's see if they're in my basket where they're supposed to live. Sometimes I do. Oh, here they are. So this is what they look like. They're $22. Not a bad price point for some dies, right? Some steel dies. You get 4 of each size, 4 of each kind, and you have 4 different sizes from the small to the larger. And then these are the reinforcers for those. And this one is the smallest one right here in black. So I'm going to be using my silicone mat, and I like to use that whenever I'm using a wet adhesive. And I'm also going to use my multi-purpose glue. I'm going to grab my little tag here, and I am going to stick these words before I lose them down onto this tag. So I'm going to use my tweezers to pick them up so I don't get glue on myself. We're going to start in this corner. We're going to put the For You right there. Happy is next. Grab it. And it's gonna, they're all get stacked up like this. So the Y is above the other Y like this. On an angle. And now the Oh So, and the O is over the first P. And so just like that. And I want to leave a little gap That looks good to me. So we'll put this off to the side and we're going to do the splattering next because that takes a little bit of time to dry. So let's go ahead and get that part started. All right. So to do the splattering, I just used an old Stampin' Up box. We're going to be using this ink pad. I'm going to move my card out of the way and I'm going to move these two pieces out of camera for right now. I'm going to put my box here. I'm going to open it up and you can see the splattering inside there. We're going to put our card in here and that's, we're going to kind of put these sides up a little bit because we don't want to make a mess on ourselves or on our surface. So when you buy these ink pads, they come uninked and they come with a refill. So you ink it up and you still have some left. So what you're going to do next is you're going to open the pad and in this port, you're going to put a few drops. And it's a thick ink. It's a pigment ink. So it's thick. It's not thin like the dye-based ink. So you're going to deposit that in there and then you're going to take a brush. And I'm going to use a thin brush like this, not one like this. And I'm going to dip the brush into some water. I have some water here next to me. I can't fit everything in camera, so you're just going to have to trust me. See, the water is dripping on the brush here. So, and we're going to pick up some of this ink like that. And I think, yeah, that looks good. I was going to say, I don't think I have enough water, but I do. It's thin. It's moving around. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use my hand. Try and move that out of the way. And I'm going to splatter some of that paint. You can see right there, I have some on the black. I have a little bit on here. We're going to get a little more. I'm going to show you the ink pad in a second. I'm going to put another drop of water on there so it'll be a little bit more running. See that water on there? So we're going to actually pick that up like that. A little looser. It will fling a lot better. So you can see it on the brush. Hopefully you can see in there. The box lid keeps wanting to come in camera, but I'm just going to splatter. I want a little bit more. I'm going to pick up some more white. I want some in this section, so I'm just going to tap it like that. Isn't it so fun? Nothing's more fun than making a mess. And then I am going to be using my well-loved Inky towel to remove most of the ink off of my brush. And then I will dip the rest in the water and dip it in again until it runs clear, just like that. Then I can put my brush away. And we're gonna leave this in here and let it do a little drying. I'm just gonna put this off to the side off camera, okay? But it's here next to me, right on the floor next to where I am. So we don't need this anymore or the white ink. We're done with that, but we need to finish our flower. So while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut this flower out. So I'm just gonna start on any side and I'm gonna leave a white edge all the way around it. And all these petals are quite different. And I do have to say, the artists at Stampin' Up do such a phenomenal job. Such beautiful images they give us. I'm so happy when I cut things like this and I see the variation, just like nature. Not one petal is the same, right? When we tend to draw with our non-artist eyes, I think we make them all unison, but you know, nature's not that way. Nature's imperfectly perfect, right? We have to remember that sometimes as we try to be perfect, that nature is not even perfect, right? So we are aspiring to something that may never be able to be reached. And in its imperfection, nature is beautiful and therefore perfect, right? So sometimes in your imperfections, there's a beauty there that's underneath the surface. And you may not see it, but it may take someone else's eye to bring that to light. All right, I'm working my way around. And for those of you who have never seen me fussy cut, basically I use the back of the scissor and I move the paper with my left hand here. As you can see, that's the hand that's rotating the paper. I'm basically leaving the scissor in one spot until I run out of blade, and then I need to move the scissor like I just did there to go to the back part of it and pick up more paper. But the left hand does all the rotation. And if you cut that way, you will not get any kind of choppiness when you're cutting things out. It's when you move the blade to cut, I'll show you on the scrap when I'm done here. It's when you move the blade to cut that you end up with very choppy cutting. So move your paper and not your blade. All right, there's the last little bit. There's our flower. I'll show you with this. So when you cut, if you're constantly moving the blade, you don't end up with anything smooth. I'm going to put my fingers under it so you can see. You get the choppiness from every time you open and close that blade. So by keeping your blade in place and moving your paper around, you end up with a smoothness to your cutting. So that's what I recommend. You can see that there's smoothness to this piece here that's left over because I moved my paper. Just a little tip for you. All right, let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of our flower here. Let's see. We'll use 3 dimensionals. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool to pull the backs of this off. I love this tool because all of the dimensionals are together and I can pick them up and throw them directly into the trash where they will not end up on my craft room floor. Gotta love that. Okay, so next piece, we're going to put 2 dimensionals onto the back of this tag. And I'm going to go ahead and pull those off. Throw those away so they don't end up on the back of my floor. But the flower here, as you can see, the tag is tucked underneath it. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to lay the dahlia like this. This is the front to me. And then this is going to get tucked underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this wet adhesive on this side so that it will stay stuck to my dahlia, like so. Isn't that pretty? Just like that. And then the 2 pieces can then be attached together. And I'm going to put another piece right there to hold them. Let's go ahead and pull the backing off of it. Trash can it goes. All right, let me pull my card. It's still probably not completely dry. Pigment ink takes a while to dry, so I'm going to try and be really careful with it so I don't smear it. But I love all those beautiful splatters that I got across it. Since my adhesive is already removed, the backs are removed, this is sticky, so I'm going to go ahead and attach it down kind of where I want it. I want to make sure my Oh So Happy For You is straight and that my flower looks good. There we go. So I'm just pushing on this and not on there, so I'm not smearing anything. We did the inside, so the last finishing touch is going to be the ribbon. And so this is a piece of this white, beautiful linen. Oh, look, I have some splatters on my fingers still. Inky Hands, Warm Hearts, guys. We're going to go ahead and put this through here, and I'm going to figure out how much I need. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissor, which looks like my other scissor, only it has a dangle, and the dangle lets me know that it's my ribbon scissor. I only use it for ribbon because paper tends to dull a scissor, and I don't want it dull when I'm cutting the ribbon because then it will be jagged. So let's go ahead and pull these up. That looks about good. I'm going to trim this off about there. And I like to use these little mini binder clips because they hold really good to ribbon and you don't have to worry about that. Isn't that amazing? It's the little things in life. I'm going to leave that out. I tend to clean up after myself far too often, and then I need to re-pull things out. So let's leave that there. I'm going to go ahead and fold my piece. I'm going to slide my ribbon down, and I'm going to make a knot. So I'm just going to grab a hold of that and bring the ribbon through. I'm still trying not to touch my card too much because it's still slightly wet. Once I have my ribbon held, I can make a really pretty knot. That looks pretty good. Not bad, not bad. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these ends like so. I'm holding onto the ribbon. That looks pretty. Love it. There are my cards. And now I can put my scissor away because now I'm finished. I hope that you have enjoyed watching me put this card together. I really appreciate everybody who watches me. I'm fairly new to YouTube. I have been blogging for over a year now, but I'm kind of new to YouTube, so please help me out. Like, comment, share, and subscribe down below. Ask your friends to subscribe too, and when you subscribe, you're going to get notifications of when I post new videos. That's always a plus, right? That way you can learn something new for free. Check out my blog, Inky Hands, Warm Hearts. Also, the link is in the description below. And when you go there, you can access PDFs and measurements and more fun projects. I blog every single day, so there is not a day that you will not find some inspiration. I hope that you enjoyed, and I want to thank you so much for watching me. Again, don't forget to subscribe below. I appreciate it so much. This is Kelly with Inky Hands, Warm Hearts, and have an awesome day. Happy stamping!